Imagine this. You're standing in the middle of a battlefield, but this is not a war fought with swords and shields. This is the battlefield of life, where every day you wake up to face an unseen yet relentless army, stress, uncertainty, obstacles and whatnot. This battlefield is not made of dirt and blood, but of thoughts, emotions and choices. The enemies you face are not warriors clad in armor, but rather forces that reside within: self-doubt, fear and anger. They whisper to you, making you question your worth, your abilities and your strength. But here's the truth. The mightiest warriors are not the ones who conquer lands or emerge victorious in physical battles. The true victors are those who master their own minds, those who wield discipline like a sword and resilience like a shield. They do not seek to control the chaos of the world around them, but rather they train themselves to remain unshaken by it. The strength of a warrior is not found in overpowering others, but in conquering oneself. The Stoics understood this truth deeply. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, each of them honed their minds as a warrior hones his weapons. Their philosophy was never about indulging in endless contemplation or retreating into the comfort of thought alone. It was about rigorous preparation for the unavoidable struggles of existence. They recognized that hardship was not an anomaly, but an integral part of life itself, and rather than resisting it, they sought to equip themselves for it. Their wisdom reminds us that suffering does not stem from the events that unfold around us, but from the meaning we assign to them. Pain and adversity are inevitable, but whether they crush us or fortify us is entirely within our power. The moment we learn to detach from what lies beyond our control, we strip misfortune of its power over us. True freedom is not found in external circumstances, but in the mastery of one's own mind. A Roman emperor, a slave turned philosopher, a wealthy statesman, what do they all have in common? An unshakable mental toughness forged through adversity. Marcus Aurelius, a man burdened with the responsibility of ruling the greatest empire of his time, did not seek comfort in power, but in self-discipline. His personal writings, what we now call meditations, were not declarations of victory, but reminders to himself to stay grounded in reason, to resist indulgence, and to cultivate inner peace amid external chaos. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." His words are not simply philosophical musings, they are battle instructions for the mind. A warrior does not waste energy lamenting what is beyond his control. He sharpens his mind, steadies his emotions, and moves forward with purpose. The world will always be turbulent, unpredictable, and indifferent to our desires. The only true power we possess is the ability to govern our own thoughts and reactions. This is what it means to train the mind like a warrior, to understand that victory is not found in bending the world to our will, but in mastering ourselves within it. Let me share a personal story. There was a time in my life when everything seemed to fall apart: failed relationships, financial hardships, and an overwhelming sense of self-doubt. It felt as though I was fighting an unwinnable war within my own mind, burdened by the weight of my struggles. Each setback seemed like another enemy, pushing me further into despair. Until one day, I stumbled upon a Stoic exercise known as the view from above. Read this book if possible. I closed my eyes and envisioned myself rising above my problems, seeing them not from the narrow lens of personal suffering, but from the vast perspective of the universe. My troubles, which had felt so heavy and insurmountable, suddenly seemed small, temporary, fleeting, almost insignificant. In that moment, I realized that much of my suffering wasn't coming from the events themselves, but from the way I was perceiving them. I was trapped in a cycle of resistance, fighting battles that only existed in my own head. That was the turning point. That was when I began my own mental training, learning to detach from what I couldn't control and focus instead on mastering my thoughts, my emotions, and my reactions. And in doing so, I found strength I never knew I had. So how does one train the mind to be as unyielding as a warrior's? One of the most powerful Stoic exercises is Premeditatio Malorum, the premeditation of evils. Every morning, take a moment to envision the difficulties that might arise throughout the day. This is not an exercise in pessimism, it is an act of preparation. By expecting adversity, you strip it of its ability to surprise or overwhelm you. You face challenges not with fear, but with readiness. Seneca put it best when he said, "He robs present ills of their power who has perceived them coming." The next time you have an important day ahead, ask yourself, what are the obstacles I may encounter? What is the worst that could happen? And most importantly, how will I face it like a warrior? Instead of reacting with frustration, disappointment, or panic, see yourself responding with clarity, patience, and resilience. A warrior does not flinch when the battle begins. He has already fought it in his mind, and because he has, he stands firm when the moment arrives. Another practice is negative visualization. Take a moment to imagine losing something you love, your home, your job, even a loved one, not because you want it to happen, but because it teaches gratitude. Most of us don't realize we're living in the good times until they're gone. Train yourself to see it now. A true warrior doesn't run from obstacles, they embrace them. Epictetus taught that adversity is training for the soul. If something blocks your path, use it. Find the lesson, the opportunity, the growth within it. Next time something goes wrong, instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "How is this training me?" No warrior becomes strong in comfort. That's why Stoics practiced voluntary hardship. Take cold showers, not just for the health benefits, but to teach your mind to handle discomfort. Fast occasionally, not because you have to, but to remind yourself that you don't need luxury to survive. Limit your desires. The less you depend on, the freer you are. The less you crave, the stronger you become. The ancient Spartans, one of the greatest warrior societies, had a saying, "Sweat more in training, bleed less in battle." Your training is how you respond to daily stress. The little things, waking up early, doing what's difficult, controlling your emotions, this is your battlefield. You are a warrior, not because you fight battles, but because you train your mind every single day. Every moment is an opportunity to practice self-discipline, resilience, and wisdom. Pick one Stoic exercise from this and practice it today. Let me know in the comments what resonated with you the most. And if you found this valuable, subscribe for more content on Stoic wisdom and mental toughness. Because at the end of the day, the greatest battle you will ever fight is the one within yourself. Train your mind like a warrior and win.